Before we begin our adventure, let me tell you a little about the story you're about to listen. The Jungle Book is a classic tale full of wonder, danger, and friendship. It takes us into the deep forests of India, where a young boy named Mowgli is found and raised by wolves. In this wild and magical world, animals talk, teach, and live by the law of the jungle, rules that all creatures must follow. Mowgli grows up learning from his animal friends. Baloo, the kind bear who loves to teach and laugh. Bagheera, the clever and strong black panther, and many more who protect him like family. But life in the jungle isn't always safe. Mowgli must face Shere Khan, a fierce tiger who believes that humans do not belong in the jungle. Have you ever felt like you didn't belong somewhere? What would you do if others didn't accept you just because you're different? Mowgli's journey is not just about survival. It's about identity, friendship, and finding your place in the world. In today's world, where we all come from different places and backgrounds, how do we learn to live together? Who helps you grow, and who challenges you to be brave? As we follow Mowgli from a curious child to a brave young boy, we'll discover what it truly means to belong, not just in the jungle, but in any world. So, are you ready to step into Mowgli's world and maybe learn something about your own? Let's begin. Chapter 1: The Arrival of the Man Cub. In the warm, shadowy depths of the Seoni jungle, Father Wolf awoke one evening, ready for his night's hunt. Beside him, Mother Wolf lay with their 4 playful wolf cubs. Suddenly, a new sound cut through the quiet night. The angry roar of Shere Khan, the notorious tiger, hunting close to their den. Then, something truly extraordinary appeared. A tiny human baby, barely able to walk, crawled into their cave. He was not crying or afraid. Instead, he looked at Father Wolf with curious eyes and a small, innocent smile. "A man cub," whispered Father Wolf, astonished. Moments later, Shere Khan's massive head blocked the cave entrance. His eyes burned with hunger. "Give me the man cub," he demanded, his voice a low growl. But Mother Wolf, with a fierce love, placed herself in front of the baby. "He is mine now," she declared. "I will protect him. I will call him Mowgli, which means little frog. He will live and hunt with our pack." Later, Father Wolf presented Mowgli at the wolf pack's council meeting, held on a large rock. Akela, the wise and respected leader of the pack, presided over the gathering. "Who will speak for the man cub?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. 2 important animals stepped forward. First, Baloo, the large, good-natured brown bear, spoke. "I will teach him the law of the jungle," he rumbled, "all the rules and secrets of our home." Then Bagheera, the sleek and powerful black panther, offered his support. "I will give a freshly killed bull to the pack in exchange for his life," he announced, "a generous gift." With these powerful endorsements, Mowgli was accepted. He became a cherished member of the wolf pack, and the jungle became his home. Chapter 2: Lessons in the Wild. Mowgli thrived in the jungle, growing up alongside his wolf brothers. He learned to run with incredible speed through the undergrowth and to climb trees with the agility of a monkey. Baloo, the patient bear, became his primary teacher. He taught Mowgli the complex law of the jungle, how to understand the calls of different animals, how to find the best food and water, and how to stay safe from danger. "Remember, little brother," Baloo would often say, "we be of one blood, you and I." This was a special greeting Mowgli learned to use with many creatures of the jungle, showing respect and friendship. Bagheera, the elegant panther, taught Mowgli different skills. He showed him how to hunt silently, how to move through the forest unseen, and how to use his strength wisely. Mowgli admired Bagheera greatly, and often felt a deep connection with him, almost like a younger brother to the wise panther. Despite his human form, Mowgli adapted remarkably well. He didn't have the keen sense of smell of the wolves, nor their thick fur, but his clever hands and quick mind made him unique. He spent his days exploring, playing with his wolf family, and swimming in the cool river. However, the shadow of Shere Khan always lingered. The tiger never forgot his desire for Mowgli. He often muttered to himself and to other animals, "The man cub is mine. One day I will claim him." Chapter 3. The Mischievous Bandar Log. One particularly hot and lazy afternoon, Mowgli felt restless. He noticed a group of monkeys, known as the Bandar Log, playing noisily in the trees. Baloo and Bagheera had always warned him, "Stay away from the Bandar Log, Mowgli. They have no law, no leader, and no purpose. They are foolish and dangerous." But Mowgli, curious and a little bored, ignored their warnings. He watched the monkeys, and they, in turn, were fascinated by him. They believed Mowgli was exceptionally clever because he was human, and thought he could teach them new tricks. Suddenly, without warning, the monkeys surrounded Mowgli. Before he could react, they grabbed him tightly. With astonishing speed, they began swinging through the trees, carrying Mowgli far away from his friends. Mowgli cried out for help, his voice echoing through the jungle canopy. Baloo and Bagheera heard his desperate calls. They were filled with worry and anger. "The monkeys have taken Mowgli to the cold lairs," Bagheera exclaimed, his voice sharp with concern. The cold lairs were the ruins of an ancient, deserted city deep within the jungle, a place animals usually avoided. Knowing they couldn't rescue Mowgli alone from the countless monkeys, Baloo and Bagheera decided they needed powerful assistance. They sought out Kaa, the enormous and ancient python, known for his immense strength and cunning wisdom. Kaa had no love for the chaotic Bandar Log. Chapter 4. Kaa's Hypnotic Hunt. Baloo and Bagheera quickly explained Mowgli's abduction to Kaa. The great python listened patiently, his eyes gleaming. He agreed to help, driven by his dislike for the monkeys and his respect for Baloo and Bagheera. The three unlikely allies set off towards the cold lairs. The ruins of the cold lairs were dark, crumbling, and eerie. Thousands of monkeys chattered and screamed, throwing stones and rotten fruit at Baloo and Bagheera from the safety of the ancient walls. Then Kaa arrived. His immense body, long and powerful, moved silently through the ruins. The monkeys, who usually feared nothing, became terrified at the sight of the mighty python. Kaa began to sway slowly, his gaze fixed on the monkeys. He used his unique, hypnotic power. One by one, the monkeys became frozen, unable to move, like statues caught in a trance. Mowgli, who had been trapped in a broken chamber, saw his friends. Kaa's voice, deep and resonant, reached him. "Go outside, little one, quickly." Mowgli scrambled out of the ruins, relieved and safe. Baloo and Bagheera greeted Mowgli with immense relief and joy. Kaa, having subdued the monkeys, then took his meal. Mowgli, humbled by his experience, promised his mentors that he would never again disobey them or play with the irresponsible Bandar log. Chapter 5. The Red Flower's Power. Many years passed, and Mowgli grew into a strong, agile young man. However, Akela, the respected old wolf leader, was becoming weaker with age. Shere Khan, the tiger, saw his chance. He began to whisper poisonous words to the younger, less experienced wolves, turning them against Mowgli. He wanted to drive Mowgli out of the pack, believing the jungle was no place for a human. Bagheera, ever watchful, sensed Shere Khan's growing influence and his dangerous plans. He spoke seriously to Mowgli. "Shere Khan intends to kill you, little brother. You must find the Red Flower." The Red Flower was the jungle's name for fire, a terrifying and powerful force that all animals instinctively feared. Mowgli, though hesitant, understood the danger. He ventured towards the edge of the jungle, where he saw a human village. There, he saw fire contained in a clay pot. He was not afraid, but curious. He carefully took some glowing embers in a small pot and carried it back to the jungle. At the next Wolfpack Council, Shere Khan and his followers openly demanded that Mowgli be cast out. Mowgli stood before them, holding the pot of fire. "Shere Khan wants my life," Mowgli declared, his voice firm. "But I am no longer just a man-cub. I am a man." He took a burning stick from the pot and bravely struck Shere Khan with it. The tiger roared in pain and fear, retreating quickly. The wolves, witnessing the raw power of the Red Flower, were terrified. Mowgli felt a deep sadness. He had loved the wolves like his own family, but their trust had been broken. For the first time in his life, tears streamed down his face. "I will go to the human village," he announced, his voice heavy with sorrow. "But I promise I will return for Shere Khan." Chapter 6. Life Among Humans. Mowgli journeyed to the human village. It was a strange new world, full of unfamiliar sights, sounds, and smells. He saw people who looked like him and slowly began to learn their customs. He was taken in by a kind woman named Mesua, who believed he might be her son, lost many years ago. She clothed him, fed him, and tried to teach him the ways of human society. Mowgli learned to speak the human language, though it felt awkward compared to the fluent animal tongues of the jungle. He learned to work in the fields, but his heart longed for the freedom of the forest. Life in the village felt restrictive and confusing. He often walked to the very edge of the jungle, gazing into its green depths. Sometimes his loyal wolf brother, Gray Brother, would secretly come to meet him, bringing news from the pack. Gray Brother informed Mowgli that Shere Khan was still lurking in the jungle, still harboring his deadly grudge against the man-cub. Chapter 7. The Final Confrontation. One morning, Grey Brother arrived with urgent news. "Shere Khan is waiting for you by the Waingunga River," he warned Mowgli. "He plans to ambush and kill you there." Mowgli's eyes hardened. The time for the final confrontation had come. He devised a clever plan. He gathered a large herd of buffaloes, knowing their movements intimately from his years in the jungle. With Grey Brother's help, he guided the powerful animals towards the river. Shere Khan was indeed waiting, hidden in the tall grass, confident in his trap. Mowgli, standing bravely on a high bank, shouted, "Shere Khan, I have come for you, just as I promised." At Mowgli's signal, the buffaloes charged, a thundering wave of hooves and horns. They stampeded directly over Shere Khan, crushing the wicked tiger. Shere Khan's reign of terror was finally over. Mowgli, with a sense of grim satisfaction, took Shere Khan's striped skin. He carried it back to the wolf pack, presenting it as proof of his victory. The wolves who had once turned against him now looked at him with renewed respect and fear. Akela, the old leader, gazed at Mowgli with pride. Mowgli ultimately chose to live between two worlds. He was a man, but the jungle would always be a part of him. He continued to visit Mesua and the village, learning more about human life, but he also frequently returned to the jungle, spending time with Baloo, Bagheera, and his loyal wolf brothers. He remained Mowgli, the unique man-cub of the jungle, forever bound to both his human and animal families. And that was The Jungle Book, a story about courage, belonging, and finding your family, even in the wildest places. Remember, sometimes the people, or animals, who care for you most aren't the ones you expected. And even when the world feels dangerous or confusing, kindness, courage, and being true to yourself can guide you home. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a new adventure. Share it with someone who loves a good story, and let us know. What would your jungle look like? See you in the next story.